Good morning. Here we are outside in the beautiful day under the sun. We're going to talk about Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon was created by the hands of the Creator. He was not created by speech, like the 10 sayings of creation, Vayomer and Vayomer and Vayomer. No. Hashem created with His own hands Adam HaRishon. So Adam HaRishon was not a child. He was born a man. He was created man of 20 years of age. The dimensions of his body were gigantic, reaching from heaven to earth, and the same thing from east to west. Once again, do not take it literal. It could be figuratively, spiritual, so do not take it literal. Now let's see to who Adam HaRishon resembled, and this is very interesting. Adam was perfect in his extraordinary size. Samson possessed his strength. So Adam HaRishon was as strong as Samson. So Samson possessed his strength. The neck of Adam HaRishon looked like the neck of Shaul HaMelech. Adam HaRishon had the hair of Avshalom, who had beautiful long hair. Jake, he had hair like the British Bulldog when he had his braids and all. So just to give you an idea. His fleetness on foot was Asael. His forehead was Uzziah. His nostrils were, give me 1 second. Yes, his nostrils were like Oshia. His eyes like Tzidkiah. And his voice like Zerubbabel. Like the Haftarah, Zerubbabel lemishor ve'otzi et ha'even harosha. Okay, and it's funny because all these resemblance with all these people, it was the cause of their death. What do I mean? So Samson, Shimshon HaGibor, it's his extraordinary strength that causes death. Shaul, who had the same neck as Adam, Shaul killed himself by cutting his neck with his own sword. Asael was speared by Abner's spear, who was swift in speed. Avshalom was caught up by his hair in an oak, and thus suspended met his death. Uzziah was smitten with leprosy upon his forehead, and the darts that killed Oshia entered his nostrils, and Tzidkiah's eyes were blinded. So it's funny that all these characteristics that associated these men, Shaul, Avshalom, Uzziah, Oshia, Tzidkiah, Asael, that connected these people to Adam, was their cause of their death. It also says the fairest women compared with Sarah are as apes compared with human beings. So we talk about Sarah very quickly, that she was so beautiful that the most beautiful woman in the world was like an ape to her. And here the Midrash says the same thing. Eve was but as an ape compared with Adam. So that's how beautiful Adam was. His spiritual qualities kept pace with his personal charm. When God was about to put a soul into Adam's cloud-like body, he was debating where to put it. Should I put it through his mouth? And he's like, no. Lashon Ara. In his eyes, Ain Ara. Into the ears, same thing, Lashon Ara. So I will breathe there into his nostrils. Why the nostrils? Because the nostrils, they reject anything that's unclean and take in the fragrance. So the pious will shun sin and will cleave to the words of the Torah. And that, when we do the Avdalah and say Boreh Mineh or Boreh Atzeh or Boreh Itzbe Besamim, and we smell it, it's for the soul, the Neshama Yetera, the second soul that we have during Shabbat, that leaves us. So that's why we send it with a good fragrance, because the soul entered the body through the nostrils. We know that Adam Arishon knew everything about the world from generation to generation, leaders to leaders, teachers to teachers, statesmen to statesmen, pious to pious, kings and queens and queens, everything from the commoners. He knew everything. He knew the tales of their years, the number of their days. And indeed, that's why it is very known that Adam Arishon selflessly gave 70 years of his life to David HaMelech, because he saw that David HaMelech was going to die on the day of his birth. And he said that cannot happen. And he sacrificed, he gave away 70 years of his life. So Adam Arishon lived 930 years. The wisdom of Adam displayed his greatest advantage when he gave names to the animals. So he named all the animals in front of him. He gave him all the characteristics. And the angels, especially Satan, but again, Satan is an angel of God, was jealous. And it's funny because Adam also named himself. Then God asked him what his name was to be, and he said Adam, because he had been created out of Adamah, dust of the earth. And again God asked him with his own name, and he said Adonai, Lord, because thou art Lord over all the creatures. The names of the animals were not the only inheritance handed down by Adam to the generations after him, for mankind owes all crafts to him, especially the art of writing. And he was the inventor of all the 70 languages. And still another task he accomplished for his descendants. God showed Adam the whole earth, and Adam designated what places were to be settled later by men and what places were to remain waste. So Adam Arishon really had a big responsibility, a big hand in the world, in the future world, not only at his time, but in the future. Now we are going to talk about the fall of Satan. So Satan, the greatest of the angels in heaven with 12 wings instead of 6 like all the others, refused to pay heed to the behest of God. God said that all the angels should bow to Adam. But Satan said no. The first one who did is Michael Sar Yisrael. So Satan, he challenged Adam. And he's like, I am able to name all the animals. And God accepted. So God sent him 2 animals, the cow and the ox. And the Satan was not able to name them. When it came to Adam Arishon, Hashem used the ruse that the name of the animal started with a letter that started the question. And in that fashion, in that sense, Adam Arishon was able to properly name the animal. Satan still did not accept defeat. He also did not bow to Adam, and he challenged even God. Michael addressed Satan, said, give adoration to the image of God. B'Tselem Elokim bara oto. And Satan replied, if he breaks out in wrath against me, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. So now Satan is challenging God, and he's trying to do הפלגה, פילוג הממלכה, like we say, un schisme royaume, un schisme du royaume, where there's two leaders, Chaz v'Shalom. At once God flung Satan and his host out of heaven down to the earth, and from that moment dates the enmity between Satan and man. When Adam opened his eyes for the first time and beheld the world about him, he broke into praise of God. How great are thy works, O Lord! And Adam, even though he praises Hashem, the angels would come and worship him. They would acknowledge him as majesty. And not only the creatures on earth, even the angels. So it's the angels and the creatures of earth that thought Adam was the Lord of all. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot. When God caused sleep to fall upon Adam Rishon, the angels knew that he was but a human being. So if it's not for the sleep, the angels were created before Adam and our celestial beings thought that Adam was God. They only knew that he wasn't when Hashem brought upon Adam Rishon the sleep. Tardema. The purpose of the sleep that enfolded Adam was to give him a wife, so that the human race might develop. When the earth heard what God had resolved to do, it began to tremble and quake. I have not the strength, it said, to provide food for the herd of Adam's descendants. But God pacified it with the words, I and thou together we will find food for the herd. Accordingly, time was divided between God and the earth. God took the night, and the earth took the day. Refreshing sleep nourishes and strengthens man. So again, the earth was worried, how is he going to nourish Adam's descendant? Adam Arishon felt alone, felt isolated. Why? Because when the animals came to him to be named, they came in pairs, male and female. So he was like, where's my female? So the first wife that Adam had was Lit. She was created out of the dust of the ground, but she remained with him only a short time because she insisted upon enjoying full equality with her husband. She wanted to take control. She was an Amazon. She derived her rights from their identical origin. With the help of the ineffable name, which she pronounced Lit, flew away from Adam and vanished in the air. Adam complained before God that the wife he had given him and had deserted him, and God sent forth 3 angels to capture her. They found her in the Red Sea. Okay, so Lilith was in the Red Sea. Let's call her Lily for now, since we can't name her name. And the angels told Lily to come back, or she would lose 100 of her demon children every day. But Lily preferred this punishment to living with Adam, and she takes her revenge by injuring baby boys during the first night of their life, while baby girls are exposed to her wicked designs until they are 20 days old. The woman destined to become the true companion of man was taken from Adam's body. For only when like is joined unto like, the union is indissoluble. The creation of woman from man was possible because Adam originally had 2 faces, which were separated at birth. As it's written in the Torah, Zachar unkeva bara otam. He created them, man and woman. Also, there was another wife that Hashem created, but he was awake. And when you know everything about a woman, when you know the inside and out of a woman, there's no more chemistry, there's no more love, there's no more enjoyment. So that woman didn't last. And then we have Eve. So how are you going to create Eve? That was the question now. So he's like, I'm not going to make her from the head because she's going to become arrogant. Not from the eyes, because the eyes wander. Not from the ears, because she's an eavesdropper. Not from the neck, that she become like the Jewish people, insolent. Not from the mouth, not from the heart, that she has envy. Neither from the hand, that she be a meddler. Not from the foot, that she be a gadabout. So he chose the rib. So Eve was made from the rib, and there's a tradition here. The man must ask the woman to be his wife, and not the woman the man to be her husband, because it is man who has sustained the loss of his rib, and he sallies forth to make good his loss again. We also learn here, why do women cover their hair? Woman covers her hair in token of Eve's having brought sin into the world. She tries to hide her shame, and woman precede man in a funeral cortege, because it was woman who brought death into the world. Masechet Berachot talks about this in depth, where you should not stand next to a woman at a funeral, because you have the Satan, the Malach HaMavet, swinging his sword like a crazy angel, trying to kill whoever he sees. An expiation, all women are as expiation, so to repair this sin in a way, all women are commanded to separate a heave offering from the dough, which is the chalan, because women extinguish the light of man's soul. She is bidden to kindle the Shabbat light. So now we know, girls and women and mothers and grandmothers and aunts, that the reason that the women have been commanded to light the candles of Shabbat, Nerot Shabbat, is to repair the mistake, the sin that she extinguished the light of life of Adam HaRishon and all human and animal kind. Adam was first made to fall into a deep sleep before the rib of Eve was taken, like I explained, so it's a surprise. The wedding of the first couple was celebrated with pomp, never repeated in the whole course of history since. God himself, before presenting her to Adam, attired and adorned Eve as a bride. There were also 7 chupot for the 7 worlds. The angels accordingly surrounded the marriage canopy, and God pronounced the blessing upon the bridal couple as the chazan does under the chuppah. The angels then danced and played upon musical instruments before Adam and Eve in their 10 bridal chambers of gold, pearls, and precious stones, which God had prepared for them. Adam called his wife Isha, and himself he called Ish, abandoning the name of Adam. And the word Isha and Ish are very important, because Ish is Aleph, Yud, Shin. Isha is Aleph, Shin, Hey. If you remove the Yud from Ish and the Hey from Hashem, which is Yud, Hey, the name of God, you are left with fire and fire. Hence, it is very important to keep godliness in a couple, or you will be harmed by the fire caused between man and woman. Next class, we will talk about Adam and Eve in paradise, the role of the snake in the sin, and the punishment.